Greetings, folks. Mark your calendars because January 13th, 2224 is a day for the history books. We're here to dish out the latest scoop on the Taiwan election, and boy, do we have some news for you. The Democratic Progressive Party's DPP dynamic duo, Lai Ching-Te and Xiao Mei-Qin, have emerged victorious. In the legislative yuan, it's a nail-biter with all three parties holding less than half the seats. Talk about a political cliffhanger. Now, let's dive into the nitty-gritty. The dust has finally settled on the Taiwan election battlefield, and standing tall are Lai Ching-Te and Xiao Mei-Qin of the DPP. Cue the confetti. Hair show. The numbers stacked up in the 2024 Taiwan presidential election. Lai Ching-Te and Xiao Mei-Qin bagged a cool 5,580,000 votes, securing a 40.0405% slice of the vote pie. The Kuomintang candidates, Hu Yui and Xiao Kang, weren't far behind with 4.67 million votes, making up a 33.49% vote share. The Kuomintang's other contenders, Ko Wen-chi and Wu Xinying, garnered 3.69 million votes, a respectable 26.46% share of the vote. Let's take a quick trip down memory lane to the 2020 presidential election in Taiwan. Tsai Ing-wen and Lai Ching-Te were the crowd favorites with 8.17 million votes, a whopping 57% vote share. Korea Kuo-yu and Chang Shan-chang trailed behind with 5.5 million votes, securing 38% of the vote. The pro-Democratic Party's James Soong and Christina Yu managed to scrape together 600,000 votes, falling short of the 1 million mark. In 2020, the gap between Han Kuo-yu's 2.6 million votes and Tsai Ing-wen's votes was wider than the Grand Canyon. So, there you have it, folks. That's the lay of the land in the aftermath of the Taiwan election. Stay tuned for more updates. On the evening of January 13th, Lai Ching-Te took center stage at an international press conference, delivering a victory speech that echoed around the world. He declared, as the opening act of the world's election year, Taiwan's democratic camp has scored the first victory, successfully warding off external interference. We stand firm in our belief that with a president of our own choosing, our nation will continue to march forward, never backward. He extended a heartfelt thank you to the people of Taiwan, saying, "Your unity has penned a new chapter in democracy, showcasing to the world our unwavering commitment to our nation's institutions. This is a resolve we will never abandon." In a show of sportsmanship, he also thanked his opponents for their democratic spirit, revealing that he had just received congratulatory calls from them. "I celebrate their party's gains in legislative seats and look forward to joining forces for the betterment of our country," he said. Now, let's switch gears and look at the results of the legislative yuan election. The CEC unveiled the final tally. Out of 113 seats, the Kuomintang snagged 52, gaining 14 seats from the previous term and becoming the majority party in the legislative yuan. The Democratic Progressive Party DPP secured 51 seats, 1 less than the KMT and 10 less than their previous count. The PPP held on to 8 seats, 3 more than before, maintaining their position as the third largest party. The remaining 2 seats went to independent candidates. In this first legislative yuan, where no single party holds the reins, the Popular Party has emerged as the critical minority, holding sway over the passage of bills. However, most of the seats won by the People's Party were for regional legislators. Non-regional legislators didn't make the cut, leaving the Air Force, which had 3 seats in the last term, without a seat in this election and bidding adieu to the Legislative Council. So, the election results can be summed up as follows. The DPP takes the presidency, the KMT takes Congress, and the PPP solidifies its position as the third force. It's a 3-way win or a 3-way loss, depending on how you look at it. In the end, the goal of no more than half of the 3 parties was achieved. So, what led to the victory of Lai Ching-Te and Xiao Mei-Qin? According to the Golden News, the director of the Taipei Intelligence Bureau, Mr. Ishiban Minuo, there are 3 reasons. First and foremost, Lai's campaign strategies resonated with the zeitgeist. Amidst the clash between civilization and barbarism, democracy and dictatorship, freedom and oppression, they chose to align with civilization, democracy, and freedom. They put their faith in the value of freedom and democracy, not an JP. Stay tuned for the next reasons. And the plot thickens. Lai's team played their cards right, adopting a moderate polemical strategy that broadened their support base. Their propaganda video on the road stirred up quite a buzz, painting a warm picture while fiercely criticizing mainland's election. It's like they say, you catch more FLIs with honey than vinegar. By calmly discussing their position, they reassured voters and won over the fence-sitters. They also made thorough preparations without resorting to any underhanded tactics to win the election. They didn't cozy up with local forces or let any unruly mobs or scandalous candidates tarnish their image. They ran a clean campaign, and it paid off. On the flip side, Hu Yuyi's campaign hit a few snags. The first stumbling block was Liu Taiying, a former organizing committee member of the KMT's Investment Management Committee and a notorious sharp-tongued critic. Liu criticized Hu for lacking political vigor and for announcing his candidacy too late. Talk about a tough crowd. Hu's campaign was also plagued by weaknesses, particularly his stance on cross-strait relations and his international outlook. Despite his presidential ambitions, he lacked the academic knowledge, the strategic thinking, and the compassion needed to win the race. It's like trying to win a marathon with a sprained ankle. The Green Party's analysis pointed out 3 reasons for the KMT's defeat. First, the KMT's policy towards China left the Taiwanese feeling uneasy. It's like inviting a bull into a china shop. Second, the KMT's shift towards the deep blue end of the spectrum cost them their centrist voters. It seems the middle road was the road less traveled by the KMT, and it made all the difference. The third reason for the KMT's defeat, as per the analysis, is their smear campaign and disinformation about the government's achievements in foreign affairs and national defense. This not only left the KMT out in the cold, but also disappointed diplomats and the nation at large. However, the most fundamental reason for the failure lies within the KMT itself. The party was well aware of the issues with the 199 consensus. The KMT chairman once proposed an adjustment, but Mei-Qin vehemently opposed it. In this election, Hu Youyi joined the ranks of those supporting the 1992 consensus, even suggesting that mainland students studying in Taiwan should be allowed to work there. This controversial stance left the public puzzled by the KMT's cross-strait policy. The final nail in the coffin was Ma Ying's statement, "Believe in X, JP," which proved to be the last straw for Hu Youyi. Hu Youyi and Zhao Xiaoqing, in conjunction with China's smear campaign and rumor-mongering, leaned towards the Deep South. By moving closer to the Deep Blue, they managed to secure about 10% support from the Deep South. However, this shift away from the center voters cost them the support of the people. This time around, the interference in Taiwan's election was worse than ever. The most crucial figure in all of this? Ma-Ying, former chairman of the KMT and former president of Taiwan. He played the role of a sounding board. Before the election, the vice chairman of the KMT, Mr. Sha Liyin, went to the mainland to meet with an official from the Taiwan Affairs Office. Upon his return to Taiwan, Ma-Ying made his move. He sought to unify Kuo, Ko-Wen-Si, and Hu, bringing together the opposition parties to form a united front against the DPP. This political chess move added another layer of intrigue to the election saga. Stay tuned for more updates. During the registration phase of the presidential election, the BNIP was caught up in a whirlwind of blue-white river politics, wasting precious time in preparation and coordination. As the final stage of the election campaign approached, Ma-Ying dropped a bombshell during an exclusive interview with Deutsche Welle. He declared that when it comes to cross-strait relations, you have to trust the X, JP. This statement sent shockwaves through the international community and Taiwanese voters alike. This viewpoint deviated so far from Taiwan's mainstream narrative that even Hu Youyi couldn't recognize it. In today's world, it's hard to find anyone with a shred of common sense who would believe in X, JP. Even in China, the number of X, JP believers is dwindling. Yet, Ma-Ying expects the Taiwanese to trust a man who threatens Taiwan with force at every turn. The word ridiculous doesn't even begin to cover it. Hu Youyi, who had been running alongside the others, wasn't exactly greeted with open arms in the first place. Ma-Ying's discussion on cross-strait relations was the final nail in his campaign's coffin. Blue camp supporters held Mei-Qin responsible, flooding his personal Facebook with messages accusing him of being a DPP undercover agent and the top war criminal. They claimed he was the DPP's best electioneering tool. Mei-Qin was certainly in the hot seat. On the other hand, Qi Wen's presidential vote count ranked third from the start, finally totaling 3.69 million. Qi Wen's decision to run as an independent candidate led to the growth of the People's Party. This time, the People's Party secured 8 seats in the Legislative Yuan, 3 more than in the previous term, and became a key minority in the Legislative Yuan. In the non-sectorized Legislative Committee, the PPP received 3 million votes, double the number of votes in 2020, reflecting the expansion of the Popular Party's power. On January 12, the PPP's party at Ketagalan Avenue in Taipei received 200,000 votes. This shows that the PPP is beginning to have the ability to mobilize its supporters. Also, Ko Wen-ji used online video to campaign. During the election, he gained over 1 million YouTube followers, becoming a million internet celebrity. This election was a process of rapid growth for Ko and the Popular Party. That's why Ko Wen-ji dared to say in the by-election, "As long as we continue to work hard, in the next 4 years, we can govern." This election, Ko Wen-ji was clearly sought after by Taiwan's new generation. Blue and green votes were lost. So, Ko's third party power poses a big challenge to the traditional blue-green camp. Fang Yuangson, a professor of law at the Cultural University, said that this third force of Qi Wen's will become a very crucial third force in the future. He then jumped out of the traditional blue-green situation in the past. Maybe it will have a key impact on the whole political situation of Taiwan in the future. I think this judgment is right. Then the enemy's Meizo election is reflected in the support for the blue-white forces. This election, there is another thing is very important, is TikTok, as social media played a very huge role in electioneering. On TikTok, for all kinds of traitorous forces to wave the flag. The good thing is that the Taiwanese look that indifferent, but in their hearts they know very well. The enemy country support who let who lose, so as long as anyone is eye to eye with the enemy country, basically they will be rejected by the voters. This year, with over 60 national elections taking place worldwide, Taiwan kicked off the democratic marathon, setting a powerful precedent for the countries to follow. Despite its relatively young democratic politics, Taiwan has set an example that many established democracies could learn from. Taiwan's insistence on the right to vote at the age of 20, its use of paper ballots, and its requirement for voters to present their ID at their domicile on voting day, all contribute to a robust and loophole-free electoral system. One of the most commendable aspects of Taiwan's general election is the prompt declaration of results on the day of voting, avoiding any potential confusion or controversy. Indeed, Taiwan's electoral system has some commendable features that set it apart from many Western democracies. The insistence on paper ballots and the requirement for voters to present their ID at their domicile on voting day eliminates room for excuses and potential loopholes. This ensures a smooth and trouble-free voting process. One of the most noteworthy aspects of Taiwan's general elections is the prompt declaration of results on the day of voting. This prevents any potential confusion or controversy that could arise from delayed results. These factors contribute to Taiwan's robust and efficient electoral system, which has been recognized globally. As per the Freedom House Freedom Report for 2023, Taiwan scored an impressive 94 out of 100, making it the second highest in Asia, just behind Japan. The report commends Taiwan for its healthy and competitive democracy and the solid protection of its citizens' liberties. This recognition is a testament to Taiwan's commitment to upholding democratic values and principles. In 2021, the Economist Intelligence Unit ranked Taiwan as the world's 8th nation-state and second in Asia, trailing only Japan. According to a global financial magazine, Taiwan's per capita GDP of 73,344 placed it 44th in the world, surpassing South Korea, Japan, Germany, and leaving mainland China far behind. President Tsai Ing-wen's 8-year tenure leading the DPP has seen both achievements and failures. The recent victory of Lai Ching-Te and Mei-Qin can be attributed, in part, to Tsai Ing-wen's team. The Taiwan election reveals that only democracy and freedom can truly express public opinion and truth. It demonstrates that the Chinese people are well suited for a democratic system. and can excel in it, outperforming many large division democracies worldwide. Taiwan serves as a beacon of democracy for the Chinese mainland and a mirror for the United States to learn from and improve its own electoral shortcomings. The international response to Taiwan's election has been noteworthy. Reflecting on the global response, U.S. Secretary of State Lincoln congratulated Lai Ching-Te on his election and the people of Taiwan, once again highlighting their strong democratic system and electoral process. Speaker Johnson of the U.S. Central Committee plans to lead a delegation to Taipei, Taiwan, after Lai's inauguration in May. When asked about the election in Taiwan, President Biden responded that the U.S. does not support independence. This election has indeed been a significant event in the global democratic landscape. Japanese Foreign Minister Yang Zi, in a statement uploaded on January 13, congratulated Taiwan on the successful conduct of the democratic election and Lai Ching-Te on his victory. Yang Zi emphasized that Taiwan is a crucial ally of Japan, sharing the same values and maintaining close economic, trade relations, and people-to-people exchanges. The Japanese government intends to maintain a close relationship with Taiwan's non-independent countries, strengthen pragmatic relations with Taiwan, and further deepen cooperation and exchanges between Japan and Taiwan. Japan hopes for a peaceful resolution to the issue of Taiwan through dialogue, promoting regional peace and stability. Meanwhile, the EU External Affairs Ministry issued a statement welcoming the elections in Taiwan. The EU recognizes that both the EU and Taiwan are founded on democracy, the rule of law, and human rights. The EU emphasizes the importance of peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait for regional and global security and prosperity. The EU remains concerned about the rising tensions in the Taiwan Strait and opposes any attempt to unilaterally change the status quo. This international recognition underscores the significance of Taiwan's democratic process. Absolutely. The impact of this election in Taiwan is multifaceted. Firstly, decoupling from China. The election results will significantly influence Taiwan's relationship with China, likely accelerating Taiwan's decoupling process. This shift could reshape the geopolitical landscape in the region. Secondly, strengthening defense capabilities. Taiwan is on track to bolster its own defense capabilities. Over the past 8 years, President Tsai Ing-wen has initiated a process of strengthening Taiwan's self-reliance. Significant progress has been made in terms of weapons procurement, including the development of homemade weapons. The U.S., being very cooperative and leading in this aspect, plays a crucial role in this process. Gradually, this process is expected to reach completion. Thirdly, policy of resisting China. The Democratic Progressive Party's DPP current policy of resisting China and protecting Taiwan is likely to be incentivized. This policy stance could further consolidate Taiwan's position on the global stage. Indeed, the implications of this election are far-reaching. Firstly, cross-strait relations. The election results indicate that cross-strait relations are unlikely to improve significantly in the near future. Secondly, U.S.-Taiwan relations. The U.S. can breathe a sigh of relief as relations with Taiwan are expected to remain stable. The first guide chain remains intact, and efforts to arm Taiwan have not been in vain. Thirdly, geopolitical implications. From a geopolitical perspective, the election results present a challenging situation for the opposing country. With the DPP's re-election, the decision to engage in conflict becomes a difficult one. The ongoing stalemate in the Ukraine war further complicates matters. If the Ukraine war reaches an endgame by next year, the window for a forceful attack could close, making the situation even more difficult for XJP. Fourthly, Western stance on Taiwan. The West may need to reconsider its position on Taiwan. Taiwan's indispensable role in the semiconductor field underscores its importance. The election results could prompt Western countries, including the United States, to consider new approaches to ensure Taiwan's stability. Finally, let's delve into the life of Lai Ching-Te, the President-elect of Taiwan. Lai Ching-Te, the next President of the Republic of China, indeed has an inspiring life story. Born in 1959 to a miner's family in Wanli, Taipei, he faced adversity early on when his father died in a mining accident. Raised by his mother, he went on to graduate from Taipei Jiangwo High School and the Annex Department of National Taiwan University. He then moved south to study medicine at National Cheng Kung University. Lai's political journey began in 1994 when he ran for the Democratic Progressive Party (DPP). In 1996, he ran as a delegate to the National Assembly in Tainan, marking the start of his rise within the DPP. Despite the DPP's presidential election loss in 2008 and the sentencing of former President Chen Shui-bian, Lai's political career continued to flourish. He was re-elected as a legislator and in 2010 was elected mayor of Tainan with 60% of the vote. His re-election 4 years later saw him secure a record 72.9% of the vote, the highest in the history of Taiwan's local self-governance. Known for his honesty and integrity, Lai was dubbed the benevolent mayor and became a shining star in Taiwan's political arena. He continued to climb the political ladder, eventually becoming the chief executive officer. In 2020, he joined Tsai Ing-wen as her running mate and upon their victory, became vice president. Lai's political journey is indeed remarkable, marked by a series of victories that have led him to the presidency. His story is a testament to his resilience, dedication, and commitment to serving the people of Taiwan. Lai indeed has some distinctive characteristics that set him apart. Advocated for Taiwan's independence on September 26, 2017. While serving as the executive yuan, Lai openly advocated for Taiwan's independence in the legislative yuan. This marked the first time a chief executive officer in Taiwan had done so, firmly establishing Lai's stance on Taiwan independence. Political cleanliness. Lai is known for his political cleanliness, a trait that has drawn criticism from Lai Ching-Te. He is a firm believer in political separation and does not tolerate any gray areas. During his term as the mayor of Tainan, he protested against a council speaker suspected of corruption by not attending the city council for 200 days. This bold move shocked many people. Clean image and strong personality. Having been in politics for 30 years, Lai has maintained a clean image. He is known for his diligence, and his family has kept a low profile, with his immediate family members not participating in politics. Lai is also known for his stubborn and outspoken personality. Despite facing criticism for the forced relocation during the railroad underground project in Tainan, he demonstrated his resolute nature during the 2016 Tainan earthquake by staying at the scene for a week to aid in disaster relief. This earned him the nickname Lai God. These characteristics highlight Lai Ching-Te's unique persona and his commitment to his political beliefs and principles.